Thought I could count on you. I thought we had a deal. I gave you all I had. Put you in front of friends. It was me and you. For it was one of them. I introduced you to them. I should have seen it then. It was never about me. It's what I could do for you. What you could get about me. Who I could introduce you to. I knew the truth. Still there was nothing I would do for you. A fool for you. You break my legs. Still jump through hoops for you. I thought we had a deal. 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 It's hard to let you go when I'm still holding on. Said I should leave you, I don't need you, should be moving on. This shit is stupid hard, and I ain't ready for it. Said I should leave you, I don't need you, I ain't ready for it. They weren't there for it, no, they weren't there, were they? They weren't there when she despaired to have her prayers working. She wanted to die daily, and I was 9 maybe. I'm on the couch with mom, talking about don't cry, baby. We'll be alright, baby. Yeah, we gon' make it through. I'm scared to death inside, but I know I can't let it through. I ain't know where to turn, I didn't know what to do. You gave me hope when there was none. I owe my life to you. I thought we had a deal.
Leave me not ready to let you go. Let you go. I'm begging, don't leave me. Take anything you want, everything if you want it.
You gave my life purpose before it had any. You gave me courage when I didn't have any. We were the best of friends before I had any. I gave you all I had. You turned your back to me. You set a trap for me. I never seen it coming. You had me blind to if I didn't want to feel you numb it. You left my life a wreck, and I hate you for it. I'm still in love with you, and I hate you for it.
Yes, sir. We are back. Welcome, St. John Live. My name is Mike St. John. I am in long-term recovery. My sobriety clean date's June the 1st, 2016. We're back. I've been gone for a few weeks, man. We've been busy down here in Richmond. I've been in Somerset, but, I found time tonight. I actually just got back from the gym, and here we are. But grateful to be here, man. Give us a shout-out. Hit us up in the comments, man. Let us know where you're watching from. Hit that share button. Hit the heart buttons, man. We got a powerful message here with us tonight. One of my good buddies is celebrating 4 years, Robbie Pearson. And, it's just amazing to watch his journey, man, because if you saw my post today on Facebook, his before and after is like a 3-year-old boy and a 40-year-old man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Recovery is possible. And, but recovery is possible, no matter how low you get, man, you can always scream out for help. And, it's just amazing. But I'm going to give a shout out to my page sponsor, One Stop Phone Shop out of London, Kentucky, 606-657-2750. All your electronic needs, iPhone, Android, screen repairs, laptops, whatever you got, man, they do some awesome work. Adam Larkin with GetLive.com, Get Apparel. He'll be at our recovery rally June the 3rd. Again, post your sobriety clean dates in the comments. I'm going to get mine in here. Watching from Richmond, Kentucky. My wife's actually out of town for the night, so I'm home with both of the kids, and thank God for a babysitter. You hear me? Huh? We can trust people like that today. Beds available, St. John Recovery, 859-300-1503. Beds available at the Protea Center in Somerset, Kentucky, 606-485-9323. Listen, these beds available all over the state of Kentucky, man. That's what I don't understand, man. Like people want to pick and choose where they want to go. You know what I'm saying? Get the help you need and get your life back, man. Live a life of free. Let go of the backpack. But let me get in these comments, get some shout outs, man. We got Puma Interventions LLC. I see you, man. Proud of you, man. Hit that share button one time. Let's get this shared out. Kayla Reeder, welcome. Mark Sanford, welcome. Annie Marie Vaines, welcome. Kelsey Don, 12-15-21, Protea Strong. Mark Sanford coming in from Virginia, August the 25th, 2019. My man, Curtis Collins, huh? If he can recover, anybody can recover. 12-10-17, Tabitha Step. Listen, me and my wife is super proud of you. You're doing some amazing things. Don't stop doing what you're doing because it's going to get better, I promise. Turn this light down. We're super proud of you. Annie is watching from Lexington, December of 2020. We got Rob Fields in here talking about some chicken nuggets, huh? Chicken nuggets are good for you. Aaron Heath, catch up. Let's see, Aaron Heath, where'd you go? Proud of you. There's Stephen Kidwell, the Buddha of recovery. N.A. Nazi, you hear me? Pop, pop. Welcome, Kidwell. Love you. Janet McClanham, watching from Texas. Leon Ward out of Richmond, Kentucky. Alexis Henry, or A1 Day One, my wife's best friend, boss, hashtag BFF, whatever you want to call it. 10/7/2020. Kenny Daniels, he's watching from Panama City, Florida. Kenny was on here a while back, man. If you've not been watching Kenny's story, he works for Lake Cumberland Recovery, man. And today he gets to go back to Panama City, Florida, man. I texted him earlier today, man. I was like, listen, take all the pictures, man, because that's where he started his madness. And today, when we're spiritually fit, man, we can travel the world and go to any store, anywhere we want to. You know what I'm saying? Because drugs and alcohol is not our problem. Once we remove that stuff from our body, we're going to learn how to live. And St. John is my cousin's. Beds available at New Way to Live in Lexington, Kentucky. Rob Fields, 5/17/19. I see you, Big Bubba. Ashley Jackson, watching out of Ashley, Indiana. Is that correct? I hope I said that right. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, grateful to be here, man. I know I'm usually live every Monday night, but like I said, I've been busy. So I go live when I have the time. You know, it's part of growth. Me and Robbie was talking about it a while ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're on this recovery journey, and I'm coming up on 7 years, June the 1st, if God wakes me up 7 or 8 or 9 more days, you know, recovery is about growing, and growing is what I got clean and sober for. You know, the family, the wife's business, you know, helping people, doing outreach for Protea, man. Just, you know, the podcast, yeah, it's awesome. It reaches a lot of people. And reflections, I don't know how to say that. Reflections of an Addict. I'm sorry. Reflections of an Addict is in here from Somerset. My bad. Josh Jenkins. But yeah, you know, growing. So, you know, I didn't put my podcast on the back burner, man. But, you know, when I got time, I promise I'm going to go live. So, you know, and another statement I need to make. If you are not friends with me and you send me a message, I do not see that message on my Facebook. It goes to a message request. And I talked to probably 35 people today, and it's only 9 o'clock. So there's a lot of messages that I do not see. And if you send a message to my platform here, St. John Live, and you're not following this platform, it goes to the message request box. And I do not see those messages. And I don't have time to really go look at message request. So my phone number is all over the internet. And if you're struggling or relapse mode or needing help, listen, anybody's got my phone number. And, you know, I mean, I'm just sorry. I'm so busy that I don't really have time to check the messages. So if my actions offend you some way, you know, that's on you, not me. Because my number is all over the internet. Like I said, 859-300-1503. And, you know, we have so much going on that I don't have time to check the messages for real. But anyway, we got Brandy Stamper in here from Barberville, Kentucky. I had a guy made a post today about St. John Live and, you know, blah, 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 whoop, whoop, whoop. And he called me some names. And, but, you know, it don't bother me. You know what I'm saying? He lives a mile down the road here. You hear me? But anyway, let's get this shout out, man. I'm going to bring my guest in here, Robbie Pearson. Robbie, what's going on, big guy?
What's up, man?
Your phone fell down, huh? What's going on?
Nothing, bro. Long day, just a day of celebration for real. We just got back from dinner with my mom and little celebration with my mom, my dad, my wife. So it's good to be able to do that today.
Yeah, I seen that post, man. And like I said, I just got back from the gym, but I followed your journey here the last two and a half years. You know what I'm saying, when I met you, and like I was telling people, man, I wish I could pull the before picture up and put it on here. I don't know how, but there's a process I can do it, and I didn't have enough time to do it because I wish people could see your before picture, bro. Like, and Madison County, right here where I live. You know what I'm saying? You're in Ohio right now, and Madison County, this is your this is your town, bro.
Yeah, I ended up there because I was a fugitive on the run from Ohio. And they took me to Jackson County. I said, take me to the sticks. They did.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even hang out. I couldn't be a good fugitive in the sticks. So I migrated to Richmond.
Right. Well, let's today you're celebrating 4 years clean and sober, man, and I'm gonna give you a round of applause, man, because I'm proud of you. I love you and grateful to be to have you in my corner, man. And when you was working in treatment, you know what I'm saying? We talked every day.
Yeah.
Text or call, putting people in treatment, this and that. But I got to witness you grow and take a leap of faith and become a business owner, man. And that's what I was talking about, man. If you're not growing on this journey, like, you're wasting time, because recovery is about growing, and you have grown, bro. I mean, you've got married. Listen, I thought hell would freeze over before Robbie Pearson got married for real. And when you
Yeah.
told me you was getting married, I said, well, listen, get that boy a cup. You hear me? But it's just, it's been amazing, man, to watch your journey. And I'm grateful that your wife allowed you to spend, 45 minutes to an hour with me tonight, man, to carry a message of hope. 'Cause that's what it's about. Never forget where you came from.
Yeah, man. There isn't one day that don't go by that somebody don't reach out to me, call me, message me late at night. And man, she lets me she lets me still take part in that part of my recovery. And I'm thankful for that, because you got to be a pretty strong woman just to do that.
Right. Got a message, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying, but yeah, go ahead and share. Let's tell a little bit about what it was like back in the madness, man. And, let's share a little bit of what it was like then.
All right. So my name's Robbie Pearson. My sobriety date's 5/22/2019. Today I'm celebrating 4 years of recovery, and it's amazing, man. I reached out to a lot of people to a few people that had a lot of influence on my recovery, and one of those people is Mark LaPalme. I sent him a message last night, and I said, "Man, I'm grateful for you. My wife is grateful for you, and without this vision you have, without your heart that you have for humans, that I don't know where I'd be without you." So to this day, a big part of my lasting sobriety, it has been gratitude. To this day, I still want to show the people that was a big part of my sobriety. I love to show them gratitude. And that dude has never once told me no, man. I will call him. People from around here, they're like, can you get me in treatment? I'm like, yeah, I can get you down in Chillicothe. They're like, no, we want to go where you went, because we never once thought you'd get sober. So we want that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I call Mark, and he's like, send me their name and number. And they've got a bed, man. And that's special to me, to have someone like that. And that's always been, I've always wanted my recovery to look like that, to put myself last sometimes. And it don't always happen like that, but a lot of times it does. And I get blessed for it. But I'll take you back to my childhood. my grandmother raised me. My mom had me at an early age, and my grandmother raised me, and so I played sports all through school and stuff. But to me, my life looked a little bit funny. All through sports, I would see my friends with parents, a mom and a dad, and family, and to me that was my life didn't look like that. So I automatically felt funny,
Yep.
and so especially not having a dad whatsoever, that was I used to shrug it off like it didn't bother me, but when I got clean and sober and started doing some work, that was a huge part of my addiction. So about the age of 15, I put a drink in me, and I can remember literally doing a front flip in the living room at my grandma's house and knocking the TV over. And she was like, "What in the world?" But hey, that's the effect it had on me. But I should also say this, because I've been doing a lot of reflecting on, digging a lot deeper than I ever have. And my grandparents loved me unconditionally. Like no one's ever loved me that way. But I also was in places that I should have never been in at an early age. I was hustling pool at 4 and 5 years old. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
shooting pool up on a chair and in a bar. Honestly, remember walking. My grandpa was a manager at this strip club in Lexington when I was like 3 years old. It was called Fud Puckers. And I remember walking through this door and I had all these little dangly beads and strings, and you walk through there, man, and up on the stage is my grandma naked. You know what I mean? Like, I can remember that stuff. I mean, God bless her. I would, if I could have danced for some dollars, I would too,
Oh yeah. Yes, sir.
Oh, bro, you see me dancing, you better get a cup out. You hear me?
Yeah, I know.
But I just thought that was normal, and I look back in the spiritual realm of this is like, okay, if your family's doing these type of things with you, so you're never, you don't know what God, you don't have the relationship with God, or you have never been introduced to God. You hear his name and you call on him for things, but as a kid, like, I just thought, we're not those kind of people. We're not good enough for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So over years and years of that, like, you start believing that, like, I'll never be that person. You know what I mean?
Nope.
So, but yeah, about 15, I took my first drink, and the effect it had on me, man, was one like no other. So it made all them funny feelings about my home life and my family life. It made all them feelings okay. So fast forward a little bit, some consequences early on. I didn't get to graduate high school. I got kicked out of high school my junior year for drinking. I moved back to the I told everyone, this is where my story begins with the running. I told everyone, I'm moving to Greenfield to my mom's to play basketball for this great basketball coach. And that's what I did. I ended up doing that, but that wasn't the reason I left. The reason I left was because all that shame and guilt. None of my other friends was suffering consequences at that young of an age for drinking and showing up to school drunk and things like that. So I lost some girlfriends. My addiction, my alcoholism, I should say, at the time was, little did I know I was just having fun, right? But
right.
So my senior year goes by. My junior year, I sign up for the Marines, and I'm supposed to leave the day after graduation. So The last 30 days of school, I'm thinking, man, my grades are passing. How am I going to get out of this commitment to the United States Marine Corps? Because I'm not wanting to leave this life of, all these extracurricular activities. After every basketball game, me and my friends would smoke and drink, and the girls, just that life. I'm like, I can't be separated from this. The Marine Corps, not what isn't going to be on the plate. So I missed the last 20 some days of school, and I didn't get to graduate. And I'm not proud of that, but that's my story. I went the next summer and got my GED, and by that time, addiction is a progressive and it's a fatal disease that, it's constantly getting worse. So I'm experimenting with Xanax, and I should say that Xanax was my drug of choice out of any drug that I took. I think it became that way because at an early age, I had 4 or 5 DUIs, and the effect, it gave me the same effect, but it didn't put that alcohol in my breath. So I went to that, and plus, and it was immediate blackout. It was immediate escape. Usually it was an immediate trip to jail.
Oh yeah.
I remember waking up in a Ross County jail 2 or 3 times, tapping my bunkie on the shoulder. Hey bro, what they get me for? It's crazy, man. I get to drive by those places today, and man, I tell you what, man, like my past is what keeps me motivated. That picture you was talking about, I look at that, man, and I can remember, being so hopeless and giving up on life. But so fast forward some things. I went overdosed at 22 years old, went to a treatment center, got out. I'm sober. They're buying me new cars and putting rims on them and this and that. And I went to that treatment center, and I seen legit people that were puking, and that's when OxyContin was huge. And I was in Portsmouth and at the Marsh House, and I see people buckled over puking and, amongst other things on themselves. And I couldn't relate, man. I didn't have that problem. I just didn't get caught, or I just got caught. So, that was, I couldn't relate to being an addict. So, through my 20s and 30s, a lot of jail trips. And in my 20s, I lost both my grandparents that raised me. And, man, after that happened, I put a chip on my shoulder. I always believed my mom loved my brother and sisters more than me. She must, or she never would have given me away. Right. That wasn't the truth. She did the best thing she could do for me. Yep. And I see that today. And man, I just got to spend a month in February with my mom in Florida on vacation, and spent the night with her tonight, going out to eat, and them telling me they love me and how proud, they are of me. And it's just the small things, man, today. But, I caught some felonies, caught 5 felonies. I was in a head-on collision with some people in my car, or in the car that I was in. And, I was 70 mile an hour, and people flew out the window. I flew out the window. I remember landing, like a dart in the creek bed, pulling my head out of mud with no shoes on, and looking back in the car up in flames. And I had some warrants, and my selfish ass took off running and leaving people behind because, I ran a couple miles home to my apartment. My roommate seen me bleeding out, and he called the ambulance, and they put 2 and 2 together. And I can remember going to the hospital, and it was kind of like I was kind of in a blackout, but I could hear the screams and the moans of the people that were in there in that car wreck with me. And man, that was the worst feeling probably I've ever felt in my life. So they put me in jail. I had some trafficking charges, possession charges in Highland County. They shipped me down there, and I get out of there. After about 3 months, they put me on adult parole authority, and I get out there, and I'm trying to stay clean. By trying to stay clean, I'm going to these meetings, and I'm saying I'm this and I'm saying I'm that, but literally I'm just trying not to go to jail or go to prison. And so one day I get off work, and I'm living with a preacher, man, at the time. And I get off work and I check the mailbox, and I get 5 indictments in the mail, and it's 2 F2s, 2 F3s, and an F4. So down there, that's Class Bs, Class Cs, and Class D. And I was looking at 20 some years in prison. So that's where my story with Kentucky started. I said, Mom, I loaded up a bag of clothes and said, take me to the hills. You know, my stepdad's got some family in Jackson County, Kentucky, and boy, they got me down there, and I was lost. Boy, I always tell this story, but I can remember telling my aunt telling me to go out back and check on the youngins. And bro, I'm out back looking in the garden for some kind of yam and onion hybrid. I had never heard a youngin a day of my life. I had no idea what a youngin was. So I stayed there a few months, and then I ended up going to this bar on the river. Heck, I can't even think of the name of it now, but Riptides.
Yeah.
I met this girl, and I pretty much took her hostage. And by taking her hostage, I mean I'm a lunatic at this time. I'm wide open on drugs. I'm trying to hide, but I fell in love with her kids, and for 3 years, you know, I'm coaching her kids' ball teams. I literally coached baseball with Judge Earl Ray Neal, yeah. And I'm a fugitive, and I'm having him write me letters of recommendation for jobs in the area. And September 1st, 2010, I remember being on a crack bench, and I'm walking down behind the police station. They pull me over, and I ain't got no shirt on, and they're questioning me. You look like so-and-so. I'm like, I give them all these fake names. And I remember creating enough space, because I'm running. Like they were all heavy set, and I'm gonna run, you know. And I created enough space, and I ran, and Lord, man, I'd smoked them, bro. And I got over there to those towers or whatever they were, and they have a privacy fence. And I remember running and planting my foot up on that fence, trying to grab the top, and it didn't happen. And I had them beat so bad, I backed up and took another run at it, and it didn't happen again. And they smoked me, bro. They beat me so bad, I had lawyers calling me in jail. Hey, do you need some kind of representation? And but you know, it sounds funny, but at the time, I'm like, man, my life is over. You know what I mean? I got these charges, big newspaper article, fugitive caught. This girl had no idea that I even had a warrant, let alone was a fugitive, right? So I just thought, you know, that's over. And, you know, she came and visited me, and I spent 9 days in Madison County Jail. It was my first trip there. And Faye Winkler come and got me out of the cell. She said, you're flying out of here today. And I said, all right. I just thought, you know, it was the 9th day. I knew that's all they had to extradite me. So I just thought, you know, they come to get me. So we're walking up to booking, and Jamie Wynn looks back at Faye and says, hey, put Pearson in the holding cell. I'm on the phone with the pilot, and they're going to be an hour late. And I said, the pilot? What do you mean? They said, look, you're the first inmate to ever fly out of this county jail, and Ohio's coming down here on an airplane, and you're going to go sit in this holding cell and think about it while until they get here. And I sit in that holding cell, bro, and it was the most, it was miserable. I just thought my life was over, facing all these charges. And they come and get me out. They take me to the Berea Airport, Madison County Airport in Berea. They let me smoke a few Kentucky Best cigarettes. I remember that. And I'm thinking I'm Cyrus the Virus. I'm thinking they're getting ready to put this muzzle on me, and this big ass jet's coming, and we pull up, and I swear, dude, this airplane wasn't no bigger than my Hyundai. They let me take my commissary bag, and the pilot, he was about 80 years old, and the CO was scared to death. And I remember flying, and I flew over my house, man, and it's got real. I thought about them kids, and I thought about that woman, and I needless to say, I broke down. So they get me up there to Ohio, and here I am painting this big picture. I'm just, they want me, bro. They came down there on an airplane. Come to find out, man, they just didn't want to miss the county fair. They said, we just took an airplane. It's quicker. The fair's this week, and we ain't missing it. I'm like, dang, them elephant ears must be off the hook.
Yeah.
So they get me up there, and then they ship me up to Columbus to the workhouse where stuff got real. I'm up there for a couple months, and I'm really don't know what my life's going to look like in the next few years. So ended up getting a bond reduction after about 3 months. And my mom and my girlfriend at the time came up with $40,000 bond. But I just think it was $4,000. And they bonded me out, and I'm on out-of-state bonding in Richmond, Kentucky. So I'm having to call in once a week on an out-of-state bond. I live here, I work here, blah, blah, blah. I remember after about 3 weeks of that, my lawyer called me and said, hey, man, I just want to tell you that your case has been dismissed. All charges have been dismissed. And I'm like, what? So, addicts, we don't process emotions the right way. I didn't anyway. I got high if I was happy. I got high if I was sad. And I got high if I had hair on my head. So first thing I do is reach for, some Xanaxes. And from 2010 on, I tried to be the best stepdad I could be. Ended up getting married. By 2016, I got introduced to a drug called crystal meth. And literally, I tell people this a lot, man. I swear if the devil made a drug with his own hands, it's crystal meth. The demons and the spirits and everything that came along with that. I was fighting off the United States Army and Hispanic gang members at the same time that lived in my crawl space. I was doing this for a month, man. So you imagine what these kids was thinking, and this woman, and they gave me the alternative. You're going to go to treatment, or you're going to leave here. So I went to treatment. 2016, I went to London to a treatment center called Life Core Recovery. And I went for 21 days. Got introduced to the church that I go to, that I'm a member of in Kentucky, Grace Abounding Ministries. I love them people. Chad Creech, Chris Stanley, all those people, man, they love me back to life. And they still love me. I actually got a key to that church to this day. But 14 out of them 21 days I was there, man, I was getting up at 9 a.m. if I slept. I was coming off Suboxone, and it literally was the worst time I ever had in treatment. I've never did a Suboxone since that day in 2016. I don't think. But I kind of held it together. I left there. I kind of held it together. I was in church, put a business together, one like I have today, but not as legalized as the one I have today. After about 10 months, 8 months, something like that, of running this business, I decided it was a good idea to snort a line of crystal meth with one of the gutter guys. And within a few months, man, everything that I worked for, everything that I had built, it was up in smoke. I remember, looking at the guys that worked for me. I had 4 or 5 guys that worked for me, and I can remember looking at them when it was November. I said, y'all want to stop doing these roofs and putting the siding on and start selling drugs? And every single one of them said, yes, let's do that. That's a great idea. And man, monkeys can't sell bananas, bro. And I'm a monkey. Everything I had was gone. And I battled with this stuff. I remember 2017, 2018, I left the house with all my stuff because I was so ashamed of my kids see me like that. I was leaving. And my buddy had caught a case, and I'm going to take him to Florida to hide out. But I remember doing 30-some purple footballs before we took off to Florida. And I woke up in Florida in a hospital, and I had tubes down my throat and these things on my chest. And I wake up and I'm in total shock. I come to, I should say. And they said, we found you dead on the side of the road, like you were dead. And we have, in the state of Florida, we have what's called a Baker Act, and we're gonna enforce that. And I'm literally fighting them. I fought them. As soon as I woke up, they shot me with Halidol. I'm out for 12 more hours. I wake up, I fought them again. And the third time I woke up, and I was real hungry, and I was real tired, and I was real broken. And I said, okay, let's do this Baker Act thing. So I think this might even be my first trip to Florida ever. It was crazy. The closest hospital that would take me was called Henderson State Hospital, and it was 3 hours away in Fort Lauderdale. And that's the first time that I realized that coconuts grew on trees. I had no idea, but they let me out in this little concrete pad of in a little picnic table. They let me out for about an hour, and I look up and I said, is that coconuts on that tree? And they looked at me like I was stupid. No, they're like, yeah, dude, that's coconuts. So, but I can remember, being scared to death. Like, I was down there by myself. My family had been aware that I had overdosed and died. I remember them telling me, which I'm kind of familiar with the mental institution stay. That was my third one. I knew I was going to have to see a doctor before they released me. I see this doctor, but for the first time in my life, I got honest with this doctor, and I told him, look, man, I don't think I'm crazy. I'm a drug addict. And I meant that with everything in me. Dude, I remember that ride down there to the hospital. It was so beautiful. I was in February, but it was so pretty down there. And I was looking out the back of that emergency squad, and it was beautiful. And I remember thinking to myself, dude, what has your life become? Like, you had all these, I had all these dreams, like we all do. We're humans. We had dreams of doing good things in our life. And here I am in my third mental institution, who knows how many overdoses, and here I am hurting my family again. And so after about 5 days, they released me, and I had no idea where my vehicle was. None. I literally lost that thing for 15 days. I found it. This church helped me out. They put gas in my car. My wheel rolled off of my vehicle. I had to have it fixed. Got baptized at a Church of Christ in Valdosta, Georgia for $10 in gas money. Like, dude, it was but these things were normal to me. Like this, the craziness of addiction is like all the chaos is normal. You know what I mean? Like I'm walking right through this without, this is traumatic to some people, and me, this is just like, yeah, this is what I gotta do. Go ahead and dunk me and let me get that check. And so I ended up, Chad Creech ended up meeting me in Knoxville, filling up my tank again. And I made it to a treatment center there at ARC, somewhere in Somerset. And I was there for about 3 days, and I got kicked out for fighting. Became homeless, started putting a needle in my arm at that time. I remember sleeping outside a couple of nights, man. And, right there in Richmond, right there at the that old hotel on 25 in between Richmond and Berea. I can't think of the name of it, but that's what my life was like. And I was always good at getting a little bit sober and pulling things back together, material things, a car. I never had a license for 18 years. I had like 5 DUIs by the time I was 25. So I could never pull it together, get my license. So I'm in this recovery house in halfway house in Lexington. Ended up getting the car, getting the clothes back, shoved the car in someone's name. That's what we do. I don't even know if the tags were good or whatever, but it was May of 2018. And I have been through probably 13 or 14 different treatment centers throughout all this time. And I remember leaving there, and I come back to Ohio, and that was going to be my last run. I didn't know it, but I was up in Dayton, Ohio, my cousin. I remember it was like 3 a.m. I'm like, stop at this house right here. I get out, walk up, 2 guys greet me with a shotgun to my head, and my cousin, she's in the car screaming, crying, and me, I'm just like, shut up. You know what I mean? Like, let me get this bag and shut up while this is happening. You're going to get me killed. So they walked me around the back into this basement, and another guy held a gun to me, and they checked me and make sure I wasn't the police, and they gave me what I needed. And I remember getting in the car and yelling at her, man. I ended up getting, I think it was like 50 Xanax bars, and in a matter of 3 days, those were gone. And within that time, I came to May 20th, 2019. I share this a lot. I'm walking down on Western Avenue in Chillicothe. It's right close to where I go to church now. It's crazy, but I come to, and I'm looking in my pockets for my phone, my wallet, my car keys, and I find release forms from the county jail. I have been to jail and released in a complete blackout, bro. And life was crazy. I remember going up to the AutoZone and using the phone to call my mom. I said, Mom, I've been to jail. Come and get me. And for the first time in my mom's life, she told me no. And so I walked around aimlessly for about 10 hours, man. And I called her again. And I remember my niece being in the background. And she said, Mama, go get my Uncle Robbie. And my mom said, look, I'll come and get you if you promise to go get help. So at this point, I wasn't sold on help. I'd been to 13 or 14 rehabs. Like I wasn't sold on anything. I remember laying there for a couple of days. They accepted me at the Isaiah house. And I remember laying there for a couple of days, and just, man, I cried my eyes out. Just couldn't believe I was in the condition I was in at 42 years old. I didn't have, nothing or nobody. And here I am on my way to treatment again. Mm-hmm. And May 22nd, 2019, my mom loads me up in the car, and I'm still coming off those, benzos, and I'm sleeping, and she wakes me up. She said, we're about 3 minutes from treatment center. You need to get up. I remember looking out, and if you know where the Isaiah house is, it's in the middle of nowhere, bro. And I look over, and there's dust flying, and there's cows and Amish people, and there ain't nothing else but that. And I'm like, we're not 3 minutes away from where I'm going. She's like, yeah, we are. And we pull up to that place. And there's all these, people like me running around on the baseball field. It's beautiful outside. And, I remember getting my bags and walking in. And I remember as soon as I opened them doors, bro, the love that I felt was unreal. Like, I haven't been, at that time in my life, not too many people was loving on me. Not too many people was taking my bags. Not too many people was offering to feed me. And they took my bags. They told me to get in line to eat first. And I was hungry because I don't think I had ate for about a year. I was starved to death. But it was, and that place is so special to me to this day. Like, just how God works in that place through people. And, it was none of those counselors that reached me there. It was someone that was just like me. That his name's Larry James Moore, Pete. He showed me love, man. Like, he told me, like, look, dude, I've been to prison, 5 years. And, if I can do this, you can do this. And he would bring me in protein shakes every now and then and give me a sandwich that I wasn't supposed to have, but it was all out of love. You know what I mean? And so I'm there the first 3 days, and I'm literally, this is where my life changes. I can remember, I couldn't show emotion in front of dudes, especially 200 dudes in a treatment center. So I would go to the showers at night and I'd cry my eyes out to God to, look, I can't take this no more. Like, I can't do this no more. I surrender. And I did that for 3 nights, man. I'd go bawl my eyes out in the shower at night just so I could get it in and then go lay straight down in my bunk. And so I remember going outside a few days after that and saying a prayer, dear God, if whatever you need me to do, I will do. I was in Chaplain, and I literally walk outside from saying that prayer. I walk back inside, and Justin Vanderbender, I love that dude to death. He's kept me from walking off from there and everything else. But he looked at me and said, hey, bro, you've been approved for 11 months here. I was like, Lord, that was quick. You know what I mean? But at that time, dude, my willingness was sky high, and I was looking forward to it. And I did, man. I did the best I could through that program. And, I was hustling clothes for dip pouches and everything else. That stuff just don't leave immediately. So after about, my IOP, then I went back to the main house for a while, and then I started working. And then I'm like, man, what I got to do to get these license back? And Lisa Hess was the case management team there. And, man, she helped me pinpoint all these different fines I had. And at 4 months clean and sober, I'm going to Madison County Jail, turning myself in on a warrant. And I had the money to pay the fine. I paid the fine, scared to death they're going to come up with something else because who knows what I've done, you know what I mean? Wow. And I remember turning myself in, and the bailiff just staring there looking at me while the state trooper was running my name. And I could see the light come on in his eyes, and he said, look, buddy. He said, I remember you. I've been tased, I think I know of 2 times, but I'm thinking 3 inside that county jail. And his lights came on, and I seen it. And he said, look, buddy, whoever these people are, you better stay with them. He said, I couldn't figure out who you was, but I know who you are now. You're a mess when you're on that stuff. And so they let me go. I went back to the Isaiah house. I started working. Within a couple months, dude, I had paid over $7,000, I think, to get my license back. I learned how to live poor while I was in there. All my money went to these fines. I got enough Copenhagen and enough food and a gym membership, man. And the rest of my money went to these fines. You know, at 8 months clean and sober, I get my license back after 18 years. Talking about a crybaby, bro. I cried my eyes out. But the whole time, you know, I'm on my hands and knees, and I can remember early on thanking God for this little bunk that I'm in, and for these soup, beans, and sauerkraut that I'm eating 3 times a week. Because back then it wasn't there wasn't the funding and treatment like there is today. There was no juice machines. It was water basically, and I ate soup, beans, and sauerkraut 3 days a week. But I remember getting on my hands and knees and thanking God for that little bed and that food that was on my plate. And that's when my life started changing. I obviously had, you know, authority issues, so I made myself do what they tell me to do, even though inside I'm screaming, no, no, no. But the words that come out of my mouth was, yes, sir. Okay. You know, and I did, for the most part. I didn't give them an easy time all the time, but for the most part, for me at the time, I was doing good. And, you know, before I know it, I graduated. I got to be the lead speaker at my graduation. Before I graduate, I have an apartment in Georgetown, Kentucky, working a government job doing construction for this government project. And man, you know, I'm a graduate. That's really when the rubber met the road, because I'm in this sober living house in Lexington, and then I transitioned into my own apartment. And man, it was crazy. It was like I look back, and ever since that time in that shower, when I cried out to God, I had not had the desire or the thought even that putting drugs and alcohol in my system would be a good idea. That thought didn't even occur. And I look back on that and I'm like, man, he delivered me, like he did. And so I started about 15 months sober. I moved back home to Ohio. I ended up working on my credit. That was another thing I started doing. But I started opening up my Facebook, and I started talking about some things that was going on in my life, and I wasn't ashamed of it no more, you know. And then I learned that, you know, my story could help people, and it was helping some people. And to this day, I'm not ashamed of where I was and what I went through. And man, you know, the Lord has blessed me in so many ways since I've got clean and sober. August 20th of last year, I became a husband, man. Yes, man. My wife is the most beautiful person inside and out. I didn't think a relationship like that would exist, and we knew each other 2 weeks. And this is the funny thing, because I don't care what people think and say about me. I don't care, because they don't pay my bills, and they don't have to tie my shoes, and they don't have to put on my tool belt every day and go to work, you know. So I don't really care what they say. And I just knew that this is the woman I want to be with, and this is the woman I want to spend my life with. And she looked up at me one morning and she said, "You want to go get married?" And I called you. I remember calling you and a few other, Troy Hill and a few other of my friends, and they were like, "Dude, you're nuts." But here we are almost a year later, man. And it's crazy, dude. She pushes me to be a better person. She's praying, she reads her Bible. She pushes me to be a better person. And I started a business, man. I started this business on faith and nothing but. I was telling somebody today, look, I did my first job. I had the material delivered there. I used a borrowed truck to haul borrowed ladders to do this job. And that's where it all began, man. Uh, I went and got an LLC. I went and got insured. I even got a credit card swiper. You can pay with your stuff with a credit card with me. You hear me? Like, I got a guy that works for me. It's a great guy, a friend of mine that suffered through some same, things. And I love to see him shine. I just love to be a part of recovery. And, my phone rings every day just about to, right when I was out to eat with my parents, somebody's telling me they need help and they need treatment. And I love it that, honestly, when I worked in treatment, man, I couldn't separate my recovery and my job. It was balls to the wall, nonstop. I'm going to help every person I come in contact to. I was literally pulling people off the street, man, putting them in my car and taking them to treatment. And that's, and my love for people hasn't changed, but I just know that I was doing a lot of things on my own will. And maybe even for attention, because I'm able to confess to some things today, maybe even for some attention, but my heart is pure, and I know that. But today I get to help people in my time. I get to, they call me, I don't have to go search for them no more. They call me, and I'm able to work with people like Mark LaPalme and you and Andrew Hager and all these other people, man, that have the same drive to help others. And I think it's amazing. It's crazy, man. I look back and like I said, reflection is a huge part of why I stay sober. But I celebrated 4 years today, and I can remember, pulling up to that treatment center 4 years ago, broken, lost. I had a faux hawk. I don't even know what that is, but somehow I ended up with one. They say it's something like a mohawk, but it ain't. I didn't even know I had enough hair to have a faux hawk. You hear me? Yeah, man, I'm just, it's crazy. From being homeless, needle junkie, to being a person that can spread love and spread hope, and being a husband, a business owner, and God trusts me with everything that I have, or else I wouldn't have it. And I know that. I just, and I love growing. I love the spiritual aspect, because some people look at me and they're like, man, there ain't no way that dude loves God. And, look, man, God talks to me like I'm talking to you. He'll say, look, bro, you know what I mean? Like, you need to do this. And there's a lot of things I need to work on, man. I still have a bad mouth, and there's some things I need to adjust, but, in time, man. And that's the beautiful thing about it is when I first got sober, I thought, man, I want to be normal. I want to be like these people. I want to have money. I want to be normal. Then after staying sober for so long, I'm thinking, man, these people with this money and all that, they all got problems too. They're all crazy. Like, they all got something about them that ain't right. And so I learned to embrace everything about me that isn't right, and work on the things that need to change. And that's constant. I mean, that's recovery. You know what I mean? I used to thought, I thought I had to walk around quoting the Bible and stuff, and that's not true, man. That's not who I am. That's not me. I talk to God on a daily basis. And there'd be times like today that I'll sit in my truck and break down and cry, because I'm so thankful that I'm not in that place I was at 4 years ago. And I'm a crybaby. I hate crying in front of my wife, though. I swear. But man, the blessings that, they talk about the promises. I'm not a 12-step person. I believe in it. That's whatever works for you, man. Whatever keeps you off the streets, whatever keeps you being a good father, a good husband, all those things, whatever's working for you, that's what I believe in. So whether it be a 12-step program, it be God, my dogs are after me. Whatever it is that works for you, man, stick with it, and these boundaries that I didn't even know I had put up, like, they're what's saving me, man. I can today I can say no, I can leave, I can walk out, and I can get rid of people in my life that don't need to be there without any problems today. So I'm just thankful that I'm here to celebrate 4 years. I'm thankful to be on this show, and I'm thankful for you, bro. I love you, and I appreciate all the times we do get to spend together. I'll be down in Berea Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Maybe we can link up. But I love you, man. I appreciate you having me on here.
I love you too, man. And I'm proud of you, bro, because, I seen the before pictures, man, and to see you come back and go inside the jail with me, man. You spoke at my first recovery rally in Corbin, Kentucky, man. Like, it's like in your recovery, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't got to preach the Bible to save people, bro. You don't got to preach the 12 steps, like what I do and what you do. I mean, me and you're kind of alike for real. We kind of do the same thing, but, I know when I need to go to a meeting, I know when I need to call my sponsor, and I know when I need to talk about stuff, but I pray to God like 10 times a day, bro. Like, listen, the devil's been after me and my wife for the last 3 weeks, just stuff, drama, this and that, people, blah, blah, blah. But, at the end of the day, I don't got to drink and drug, but I know all storms shall pass, period. And it's how we react to it, man. And that's what I like about you. You're funny, you're humble, and you're old. We all know that. But because I knew when you was getting married, bro, I knew something that was a hope shot. You know what I mean? And to sit back and watch you get married, clean and sober, bro, and start a business, and no matter what age you are, because you're a little older than me, man, it shows that no matter how old you are, you can still do anything. Like, us with kids at 40 years old. I mean, that's why I'm going to the gym, man, to lose this belly, because I'm cutting my kids short of playing ball out. It's hard, 250 pounds. My 4-5-year-old running me to death, bro. And you told me that a while back. My sponsor told me 4 years ago, Mike, you better go on a diet because your kids are going to need you. Number two, my health, cancer's in remission for 10 years, like, and the dope I put in my body, like, I have abused my body tremendously for 14 years, but my kids need me, and I'm 43 years old, bro. I'll be like 50 when, like, for real, like, I got to get in shape, real talk. And it just inspire people, man. And I'm super proud of you, bro. And keep being you, keep doing what you're doing. And you said a key word, man. We can cut anybody out of our life today, and we don't got to ask for permission.
Right, man. With any kind of success, there's going to be non-believers. There's going to be people that I've noticed that I posted this the other night, man, your circle is probably a lot smaller than what you think it is. I have 5,000 followers, but I have 4 or 5 people that I can go to when I need to. And I probably have a lot more than that, honestly. But, some of these people are just waiting for you to mess up, man. Some of these people just can't wait to point the finger. But you know what? I don't pray to those people. And God's a lot bigger than I ever imagined. I never once wanted to do this to be famous. I never once wanted to do this for any other reason than I have a lot of friends out there that need help. And, it's crazy. My buddy, Derek Nelson, I played high school basketball with, man. He he just celebrated a year sober, and I got to go to his graduation at IH, and we stay in contact daily, man. And that's what I love about it is just the relationships, people knowing, where I was and where you're at now, and seeing that shot of hope. And honestly, I could care less what anyone thinks about me to this day. I do things because I love to, you know what I mean? And that's why I do the things I do. And I like acting up. I like cutting up, bro. If this stuff was boring and if this stuff wasn't fun, then I'm gonna have a needle in my arm. You better believe that, because if getting better wasn't fun, then I couldn't imagine doing this without drugs. Miserable. You know what I mean?
That's what I told my wife. We didn't get clean and sober to be in neutral or miserable. And what I mean by neutral is living in the bubble. Which I spent many years at the Hope Center, man, and I was scared to leave and change my normal pattern. And I'm gonna keep it real. I was scared, not about getting high or drunk, but just scared of the normal routine, driving to Lexington. And I had an offer and met some people, and today we're blessed. But I had to walk through that fear, and that helped me, tremendously, of being a father and spending time with my kids and spending weekends with my kids and with my family, because the weekends I missed a lot, many years with my kids, and the weekends is when your family gets together and does stuff. And but my wife, like Marie, she's my boss, bro. I wouldn't be where I'm at without her, and I wouldn't be who I am without her, because she pushes me. I didn't want to go live tonight, for real. And she's like, she's out of town tonight, and she's like, "You're going live?" And I said, "Well, I guess I will." You know what I'm saying? But it's the people I need in my life. If you're not pushing me to be better, and I don't carry backpacks no more, bro. I don't have to. I don't carry dead weight. The only dead weight I got's my belly, and it's going to be gone here in 5 months or something. But
and I see you in the gym. The most crazy, awesome thing about the gym for me is I get alone time there with God. And then not only that, but that what when you first starting out, it's hard, and then it becomes, you start seeing these results, and then it becomes necessary.
Yes.
I don't know where I would be without it, honestly, because I'm a head case. So for my mental health, gym membership is required, and
Yes.
it just is. And it's not, to me, it's not anything other than, let's go take care of my mental health for about an hour every day, or 6 days out of the week anyway. And the crazy thing about it is, man, it's still working, so I'm not going to change it.
Right.
And not only that, the relationships that I built, man. My buddy's a gym owner here, and he helped sponsor this event we had over the holidays, Hope for the Holidays. Everyone there is aware of who I am and what's been going on in my life. And man, there's good people, but not just us, but I have a ton of friends right now that would do anything in the world for me, that's never walked into a 12-step meeting, or that's never been into rehab, and that's never had a needle in their arm or a pill in their mouth. I have these people that it's just healthy, all the way around healthy. And I don't know where I'd be without that. Thank God that that's a part of my life.
Yeah. Well, listen, Robbie, I love you, bro. I'm going to get off here. I'll see you. Call me tomorrow. We'll shoot for a plan Thursday night for the jail. And your wife can come too, you know what I'm saying? But listen, I'm proud of you, man. Enjoy the evening, the rest of the night with your wife. I love you, bro. I'm proud of you.
I love you too, man. I'll see you soon.
All right. See you, bro. Yes, sir. Robbie Pearson, man, celebrating 4 years clean and sober. If he can do it, anybody can do it. If you don't believe me, click on the St. John Live, scroll down, look at his before and after, man. I mean, it's crazy, bro. I mean, he was a walking death. He was walking death, man. They flew him out of Madison County down here, the first one ever to be flown out of here to Ohio. And, you know, he's my friend today. You know, we don't get to talk a lot, but I met him on this path. And, you know I can call him right now. And if I needed anything, he would be there. If I broke down and I'm in Ohio, he's going to be the one I call. Tyler Pack, he'll be another one. But that's the friends that I have, man. I keep my circle very small. But no matter what county I go to, I got people that'll help me and don't want nothing from me. And it's the same way back when I was in the madness. I mean, I had dope in every county. No matter where I went, I had a plug somewhere. And today, you know, that plug is hope. You know, today we're hope dealers, not dope dealers. But I want to thank you all for joining tonight, man. We had, I think, 33, 34 on here. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the shares out. Thanks for the hearts. My wife, Marie, I love you. We will try to be back next Monday night live. I cannot guarantee it because we are super busy. But if nobody's told you that they love you, man, we love you. And everybody in these comments, man, if you're struggling, going through some stuff, you know, pray to God, God, please help me. You know, God's helped us tremendously, man. And whatever your path of recovery is, you know, we support you. You know, the whole purpose is to keep people alive today because we're losing people. And I want to invite everybody out June the 3rd, Corbin, Kentucky, second annual Hometown Hope Recovery Rally at 1 p.m. at the Corbin Civic Center, man. It's my hometown. As some of y'all might know, my dad actually died 2 days prior to the event last year. We was actually in my room right here packing bags, getting ready to hit the interstate, and got the phone call. And I don't remember a lot about last year's event, man. I cried the whole time. And if you was there, you know, you watched me cry. But I knew I had to, you know, God told me to might go do this rally because, you know, we helped a lot of people, man. And we left some hope in Corbin, Kentucky. But this year is going to be, you know, powerful. We had over 500 last year. We're expecting 700 to 800 this year. Shout out to Protea, man. We got a lot of people coming, man. Shout out to Rise Above. Shout out to ARC. Shout out to a lot of people down home, man, that's sponsoring this event, man, because this event's not free. I mean, it's free to get in, but it costs a lot of money to get this stuff going, man. And I'm just grateful that I have a lot of people that believe in mine and my wife's, you know, vision, because, you know, without them, this wouldn't be possible. But, you know, recovery is possible, man. What are you willing to do? I was willing to do whatever to get back on my feet. And June the 1st, I'll have 7 years, and I've never looked back, and I don't plan on looking back. All we have is today. What have you done today for your recovery? Have you helped somebody today? Nobody's told you they love you. We love you. We're out of here, and we'll see you hopefully next Monday. See you.
You ain't got cold chill, something's wrong with you. Gotta know it. You in the wrong building. Know where to turn.
I could really use a friend right now. Yeah, I just need a friend. I'm staring at my window pane. I'm staring at my window pane. I could use a friend. I could use a friend. I just need a friend right now. I'm staring at my window pane.
I'm counting raindrops, like where's God at? When will the pain stop? Like when will this be over? How come I can't stop? I swear to God, I can't stop. I ain't believing God, still I would pray to him. When no one else around, when they brought them trays to him.